Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Smith.
Okay, sit down. In today's lesson, we will talk about alternative energy sources. Let's start with a video.
Energy consumption is a huge part of our daily lives. We eat with energy. We travel with energy. We work with energy. And we even flirt with energy. But where does all of this energy come from? Today we gather most of our energy from coal, oil and natural gas, also known as fossil fuels. Additionally, we gather energy from biomass, nuclear and renewables. Fossil fuels consist of extracted decomposed organisms and plants that existed millions of years ago. Biomass converts plants into biometric material to produce energy. Nuclear energy is released during nuclear fusion. Lastly, renewable energy comes from a source that's not depleted when used, such as wind or solar power.
Do anyone know why do we need to develop alternative energy resources while we are doing well with fossil fuel?
That's because a lot of pollutants will be produced, which will cause some negative impact to the environment, such as acid rain and global warming.
Also, fossil fuel is a limited resources which will be eventually used up one day. When that happens, it will be a disaster.
So, to prevent fossil fuel from being used up and to protect the environment, we must develop renewable energy which is less harmful to the environment and it won't be used up. Can anyone give me some example of alternative energy?
There are wind power, hydroelectricity, solar power, and much more.
Is all this energy suitable for Hong Kong to use?
Definitely not. Take hydroelectricity as an example. It needs a large river to build the generator, but Hong Kong doesn't have any river large enough for it.
Energy like nuclear energy should be a better choice as it can produce a large amount of energy with only a little bit of uranium.
But when there's an accident, there will be some very serious consequences. Just like what happened in Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster, it has made a lot of countries to consider whether they should use nuclear energy or not.
It's clear that none of the energy sources is perfect. The better way to deal with the energy problem is to use fuel mix where we use different kind of energy to generate electricity. I want you all to find what's the two fuel mix options for electricity generation that the Hong Kong government had just put out.
What are you switching on the computer for, Sophie?
I need to do a news review, so I want to see if I can get any ideas on this.
Good evening. There was a demonstration in Wan Chai 3 days ago. The demonstration was organized by environmentalists as they were not satisfied with the two fuel mix options the government just put out. The first one is to purchase electricity from the mainland for 30% of our energy so as to reduce the use of coal. The second one is to increase the use of natural gas from 20% to 60%, which is another attempt to reduce the use of coal. The protest was an attempt to raise people's concerns on the impact of relying too much on burning fossil fuels. They expressed that the environment is being damaged by us burning fossil fuels, so the government should use more renewable energy resources instead of fossil fuels.
The pollutants from burning the fossil fuel are seriously polluting our beautiful world. I think that the government should use more renewable energy resources like other countries do.
The demonstration has sparked an intense discussion on the internet. The chief executive of Hong Kong government, Tommy Cheung, has made a reply on the demonstration.
We understand the concern and worries of the people who support environmental protection. We have received the appeal letter and we will try to improve our proposal.
I think that the first proposal is actually pretty good.
Why?
I don't know, I just feel like it's good.
I will try to explain this to you. People won't be able to know what fuels they are using to produce the energy, so it's not guaranteed that the energy is clean. Also, if anything happens in the mainland, our electricity supply will also be cut off, and you won't be able to play video games anymore. Hong Kong's people's sense of localization is strong too, so I doubt they will agree with this plan.
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not really.
What are you discussing?
We're talking about the two fuel mix options the government had just put out recently to receive the citizens' opinions.
Oh, I heard about it. Which do you think is good?
Well, I think option 1 is pretty good.
But he doesn't even know why.
Do you think that renewable energy is important for us? We are relying on fossil fuel too much. It will eventually run out someday, and that will definitely be a big trouble for us. Renewable energy is sustainable, so I think we should start using more renewable energy and safe energy.
But it's not stable enough, and its energy output is not as great as fossil fuels. It depends on the climate and the geography of a place. Like solar energy, it requires a place that has abundant amounts of sunlight, and its construction cost is really expensive.
I actually think that renewable energy can be carried out in Hong Kong. There is plenty of space for it. For example, we can build solar panels on rooftops of buildings. It won't bother our daily life, and yet it can produce energy.
I prefer the second plan though. The pollutants from using natural gas is not as silver as burning coal. It has a very stable price, so there won't be much change in the supply too. And it's very safe to use it.
I want to get into this discussion.
You're too little to even understand what we're saying, James.
I'm a big boy already!
It's time for dinner. Keep discussing and I will kill my boredom and seriousness.
You've been listening all the time?
You could guess. Also, you better start doing your news review. You have got plenty of ideas already.
Big boy already! I'm a big boy already! I'm a big boy already!